Welcome to Designer Discussions with Jason, Maria, and Mirjam. Today, Jason is going to talk about how to develop a digital brand for a business.
Welcome to the Designer Discussions podcast with
Jason,
Mirjam,
and Maria, where we talk about marketing, PR, and business advice for design professionals.
So this is a topic that we haven't talked about in a long time. Actually, when we began the podcast way back in 2021, we actually had Johanna White on and she talked about branding for high dollar sales. And that was a good episode. You know, a lot of people liked it, but we really haven't touched on branding again since that time. And it's vital that a design and remodeling business have their brand in place, because it helps them if they are to do any type of marketing. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, about why you need to have a brand and what are the elements that you need to have in that brand. Branding is vital. That's how you are seen from the end user digitally across the web. So you want to ensure that wherever anyone sees your assets, whether that be website, video, social media posts, anything that you write, that they can connect that to you and your voice as your brand. And it needs to be consistent throughout all platforms. And that's one of the things we find on the marketing end when we work with remodeling businesses, that they don't have a consistent brand voice, and the branding across the web is not the same. So you have to realize that that's vital for your marketing, because if it's not consistent, the end user will feel like, well, if you're not consistent with your own brand, what are you going to do when you remodel my kitchen? Is it going to be, eclectic? Now, they may like eclectic, but generally, if it's not consistent, they're going to view you as not consistent in how you operate as well. So making sure your brand voice is consistent throughout all channels is vital. One of the things you need to have is brand guidelines. And that just shows what your logo looks like if you have different variations. So you'll honestly have a color logo, but what if it shows up in black and white? You should have a variation of that. If anyone in your organization, or if you hire a marketing agency, works on your content, they need to know how to represent your logo the right way. Font style. With the fonts, you may be using Arial, you may be using Times New Roman, whatever it is for you, you need to have it consistent, because that's how your brand voice is viewed throughout. That's just some elements of brand guidelines that you need to have. Also through social media, you should have a template or templates of the types of social media posts. So as anybody, as an end user or a homeowner views your post, they can consistently see that is you, that's XYZ remodeling company, and we know who they are because they operate this way. This is how they are shown throughout the web. Having that within your brand guidelines is vital. So you want to have some type of brand guidelines where you have your logo, your font type, your mission statement, which you need to have, which goes back to, if you haven't heard any of our episodes on developing a client avatar, you need to have a client avatar, because that's going to help you with your branding as well. Because once you know who your audience is, now you know who to market to. Now you know how to communicate your content the right way. Making sure that you have that in there. You want to also have in there who your target market is, have that. So anybody, and this is not just for you as the business owner, this is for the organization. Any new hire that you have on, or any marketing agency that you work with, or any PR company that you work with, they need to have access to your brand guidelines so they know how to represent your company the right way. So having this is not just an exercise for you as an owner, because you may already know, but how about the people that you work with? How about the people that work for you? Do they know what the logo should look like in black and white as in color? Do they know what the mission statement is? Do they know who your ideal client is? Everyone that interacts with your company should know or have access to your brand guidelines because it ensures that you have the same consistency across the digital platform. Okay. Imagery is one of the other things. A lot of design and remodeling companies will often ask me when we're doing a web design or when we're editing their website, do I need to have all of my pictures on my site? My answer to that is often only use the pictures that represent your company the way that is ideal for your ideal client and that matches up with your target audience and that matches your brand guideline. As you work longer and longer in the industry, you're going to take on jobs that may not be ideal, that are a complete fit. It just may be you just may need to take a job to pay the bill. So it may not be a project that you want to represent on your website. But when you pick the images that are on your website, that are on your social media channel, that are on YouTube, that are anywhere that will represent you, they are representative of your ideal client, brand voice, and they tie into who you're marketing to. Also, look at the quality of the images as well. So you may have done an amazing project, but it may not be photographed correctly. I implore you to hire professional photography if you do not have somebody in-house that knows how to take professional photography, because that can impact your branding as well. So you may have a great project, but if it's not photographed correctly, that can hurt your brand voice. Making sure the images, wherever they appear, represent your brand the right way. You want to also do a competitive analysis. Look at what is happening across the landscape in your locale. Okay, see how other design and remodeling companies are using their branding, because it may give you some ideas on things you may not have thought about to incorporate in your own brand. And again, ensure that you have a consistent brand voice across all channels. Okay. Now, we're actually talking about all of this information in the Academy. And so this is the month that we're going to be talking about all that. So if you're interested, click on the link and you'll be able to get access and see what we're talking about. But this month is all about brand voice, branding, and website design. So make sure you plug in and you understand how your brand can impact the jobs that you get and enhance them at the same time. So this is just what I want to talk about today. We hope to hear you all in 2 weeks on Designer Discussions.
Did you know that your client learns 80% of what they will know about you before they ever contact you? Now imagine when your potential client searches for the perfect kitchen remodel. Will they find you or your competition? We can help you make sure it's you. Our Designer Discussions Academy membership with your favorite podcast hosts provide weekly steps to simplify your marketing and boost your business. Sign up at designerdiscussions.com or follow the link in the show notes. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Designer Discussions and all of the helpful information. Subscribe to our podcast, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. We look forward to having you back next week. For more information on the podcast and the marketing studio, visit designerdiscussions.com and follow us on social media.